All right, questions 33, then 34. Use the information given in the figure. How many are in B but not in A? All right, so you want to find the number of elements that are in set B but not in A. I guess if you write it using cardinality formulas, the number of elements that are in B but not in A. Let's indicate set B. Rather, I want to shade it in. This is set B. So the elements have to be in B, but they cannot be in A. So I'm going to X out the 4 because the 4 is also in A, and the 5 because the 5 is also in A and C, which is still in A. So that means I'm left with 26 and 5. Because I want to find the number of elements in each of those sets, I'm going to add 26 with 5, and that's going to give me 31. And that is the answer to question number 33. Moving on to number 34. Number 34 says, use a Venn diagram to answer the question. This is kind of similar to questions that we've seen in previous review sheets. A survey of a group of 109 tourists was taken to St. Louis, Missouri. The survey showed the following. There are the results. 59 of the tourists visit the Gateway Arch. 45 plan to visit the zoo. 11 plan to visit the art museum and the zoo, but not the Gateway Arch. 12 plan to visit the museum, the arch, but not the zoo. 17 plan to visit the arch and the zoo, but not the museum. 6 plan to visit all three. 16 plan to visit none. How many plan to visit the art museum only? Okay, so there's 3 locations. So we're going to draw a Venn diagram with 3 sets that are going to be intersecting with each other at a specific point. That is a terrible box, but we're going to deal with it. So set 1, set 2, set 3. And once again, there's 109 tourists. Label in order. That's going to be the arch, the zoo, and down here is the museum. You want to read this list starting with the innermost intersection and work our way out. Rather, what do I mean by that? You want to read the information from bottom to top. Start from the bottom, read up to the top, and it says that 16 plan to visit none of those 3 places. So 16 goes outside of the circles. 6 plan to visit all 3, the art museum, the zoo, and the arch. 6 goes in the intersection of all 3. It says, cross out 6 by the way, 17 plan to visit the Gateway Arch and the zoo, but not the art museum. So they plan to visit 2 of the 3 places. So, once again, they plan to visit the Gateway Arch and the zoo, but not the art museum. 17 is going to go here. Because the section where I placed the 17 at is both the Gateway Arch and the zoo, but that section is not the art museum. 12 plan to visit the art museum and the Gateway Arch, but not the zoo. So 12 is going to go here. 12 are going to visit the arch and the museum, but not the zoo. Okay. 11 plans to visit the art museum and the zoo, but not the Gateway Arch. And that's going to go here as well. That is museum and zoo, but not the Gateway Arch. 45 plan to visit the zoo. So we put 45 here. I was kidding. We don't put 45 there. Because it says 45 plan to visit the zoo. It didn't say only the zoo. So you can't, try not to confuse those between only the zoo and the zoo. The zoo is everything. It is the entire circle. So we're going to highlight the zoo circle, and that set must equal to 45 members. So to find the missing piece, we can subtract all of these numbers from 45. So 45 minus 17 minus 6 minus 11. I'm going to do this in my head. Hopefully I'm not incorrect when I do the math. So 45 minus 17 is 28. 28 minus 6 is 22. 22 minus 11 is 11. So 11 goes here. Let me double check. Yep, good. 59 of the tourists plan to visit the Gateway Arch. So we're going to circle that entire set. And that's going to equal to 59. And basically, you can subtract these three numbers from 59. But in this case, I'm going to add them up, then subtract. So that's going to be 12 plus 6 plus 17. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 17 is 35. So that's going to equal to 35. 59 minus 35 equals 24. And 24 goes here. And once again, the question asks, how many plan to visit the art museum only? So we need to find this part right here. Once we find the answer to that part, we answered the question and completed the Venn diagram. We can do that by adding all the numbers in the Venn diagram and subtracting from 109. So that's going to be 24 plus 17 plus 11 plus 12 plus 6 plus 11 plus the 16 that is outside of the circles. Do not forget to add that. And that's too much work, so I'm going to use the calculator. 24 plus 17 plus 11, add it with 12, add it with 6, add 11 again, plus 16 on the outside. That equals to 97. Therefore, 109 minus 97 equals to 12. So that means that here, I use this color, 12 people, 12 tourists plan to visit the art museum only. So the answer is 12. And then we can box that. All right, guys. Hopefully that was a helpful video. I broke it down for you guys pretty well. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.